My girlfriend texted. I'm only with him for fun. You know it's always been you. Oops. My phone buzzed while I was picking out her engagement ring on my lunch break. I read the accidental text, my heart sinking. I assumed it was some ex-boyfriend. Then I looked at the contact name, her twin sister. Don't miss the twist. Subscribe to the channel and be part of the journey. I, Noah, 35, male, had been with Maya, 33, for 4 years. Our life was a carefully curated performance set in Denver, Colorado. I was a landscape architect, a job that allowed me to build quiet, green spaces in the middle of the bustling city. My work earned me a comfortable $140,000 a year. Maya, and her identical twin sister, Chloe, ran a boutique marketing firm called Gemini Creative. They were a formidable, inseparable unit, finishing each other's sentences and sharing a wardrobe, a car, and what I thought was a deep, sisterly bond. We lived in a trendy loft in the Reno Art District, a space that felt more like their office and photo studio than my home. My income quietly subsidized their fledgling business and their expensive tastes. Our social life consisted of their friends, a circle of artists and entrepreneurs who saw me as Maya's stable, supportive, and slightly boring partner. I saw myself as a man building a future with the woman I loved. I was just a supporting character in a story that wasn't about me at all. The conflict began with an opportunity that felt like a dream. A prestigious Danish firm had won the contract to redesign a massive urban park in Copenhagen, and they offered me a 2-year contract to lead the project. The position came with a salary equivalent to $200,000, a beautiful apartment, and the chance to work on a legacy project. I told Maya and Chloe over dinner, my voice filled with an excitement they did not share. Copenhagen? Maya had asked, a perfect, mirrored look of distaste on her and her sister's face. For 2 years, to go plant trees. It's a landmark project, I had explained. Our business is just taking off here, Chloe had added, her voice a seamless echo of her sister's. You can't just abandon us now, Noah. We need you. They saw my life's ambition not as a triumph, but as a betrayal of their own plans. The text message, a few weeks later, was simply the final, brutal confirmation of what those plans really were. Update 1. After I received that text in the quiet, hushed atmosphere of the jewelry store, the world shifted. The ring I was holding suddenly felt like a prop in a sick joke. I went back to my office, my mind a cold, clear machine. That afternoon, I quietly sent my signed acceptance to the firm in Copenhagen. My start date was in 2 months. Maya and Chloe, oblivious, continued their performance. They would talk endlessly about their plans for Gemini Creative, about the life we were all building together. Noah's finally starting to see that our work is the real future, Maya would say to their friends, while Chloe nodded in perfect synchrony. He's so supportive. I played my part. I was the devoted boyfriend, listening to their plans, nodding in all the right places. But at night, I was methodically untangling my life from theirs. I opened a new, international bank account. I began documenting the vast sums of my own money that I had poured into their business and their lifestyle. I was no longer a partner, I was an investor preparing to divest from a fraudulent enterprise. Update 2. I chose not to have an angry, accusatory confrontation. Their betrayal was a quiet, intricate web, and my escape would be just as precise. I waited until the day I was scheduled to leave for a business trip. My suitcases were packed. Maya and Chloe were in the living room, strategizing. A new client pitch. I walked in and placed the velvet ring box on the coffee table between them. I didn't open it. Then, I placed my phone next to it, the screen illuminated with the screenshot of her text. I'm only with him for fun. You know it's always been you. I looked from Maya's face to Chloe's. The shared look of pure, unadulterated panic was the only confession I needed. I've accepted the job in Copenhagen, I said, my voice calm and even. I'm leaving today. Maya's shock quickly morphed into a desperate, flustered anger. You can't do this, she said. It's not what you think. It's complicated. No, I replied, looking from one twin to the other. It's actually very simple. You two have a great life together. You don't need me anymore. I picked up my suitcases and walked out the door, leaving them sitting there with the evidence of their strange, twisted love story. Update 3. The fallout was a masterclass in gaslighting. They launched a coordinated social media campaign, telling a story of a devoted girlfriend whose partner had a sudden, inexplicable breakdown, abandoning her for a job overseas after misinterpreting a silly, private joke between sisters. I did not respond. I was already on a plane, flying toward a new life. My first few weeks in Copenhagen were a revelation. I moved into a beautiful, minimalist apartment in a quiet neighborhood, a space filled with light and clean lines. My new job was more challenging and creatively fulfilling than I could have imagined. I was leading a team of brilliant, passionate designers, and my work was respected and valued. The constant, low-grade hum of their drama was replaced by the quiet, civilized chime of bicycle bells on the street below my window. Update 4. My life in Copenhagen was a quiet, steady ascent. The park project was a massive success, and my innovative designs were praised by the city's architectural review board. I was building something real, something that would last for generations. Back in Denver, Gemini Creative was imploding. Without my steady financial support to cover their rent and their lavish lifestyle, their business was failing. I heard through a former mutual friend that they had been forced to move out of the loft and into a small, cramped apartment with their parents. They were still sending out feelers, asking friends about my new life, trying to gather intelligence. After my first 6 months, my firm awarded me a $25,000 bonus for completing the project's first phase ahead of schedule and under budget. I used it to take a quiet, solo trip to the Norwegian fjords, a journey of silent reflection and profound peace. Update 5. My Copenhagen project won the most prestigious award in international landscape architecture. A major design magazine did a cover story on the project, with a multi-page feature on me, the American architect who was reinventing urban green spaces. The article was a global sensation in the design world. The news, of course, reached Maya and Chloe. The emails started arriving at my new work address, a coordinated assault of feigned remorse and strategic flattery. Maya was proud of me. She had always known I was a genius. Chloe wrote that Maya was miserable without me, that she had made a terrible mistake. They were a team, even in their desperation. My parents, who had been confused and hurt by their carefully crafted story, called me with voices full of pride and relief. "We saw the article, son," my dad said. "We always knew their story didn't add up." Update 6. They appeared at my office in Copenhagen. Both of them. They had used the last of their credit to buy plane tickets, a final, desperate gambit. They were dressed for a Denver art gallery opening, looking brittle and out of place in the calm, functional elegance of my Danish firm. "Noah," Maya began, her voice a soft, practiced plea. "We were wrong. I was wrong. I was scared of your success. And I was just trying to protect my sister," Chloe added, a perfect, supporting harmony. "What do you want?" I asked, my voice calm. "We'll want to be a part of this," Maya said. "Gemini Creative can be your international marketing team. We can manage your brand." I just looked at them, at the two halves of a single, toxic entity. "You don't want to manage my brand," I said. "You just want to get back on my payroll." I read your text, Maya. You weren't planning a business strategy. You were celebrating a successful con. I told them I had met someone, a Danish urban planner named Astrid. It was the truth. "My life is here now," I said, "and there is no room in it for either of you." Update 7. Their retaliation was a clumsy, pathetic attempt to destroy my professional reputation. They started a blog, The Gemini Project, in which they claimed that my award-winning park design was based on creative concepts they had developed. They tried to paint me as a talentless thief who had stolen their brilliant ideas. The campaign was a spectacular failure. The international design community, a world built on reputation and documented work, saw their claims for what they were: the absurd, desperate lies of two failed marketers. My firm's legal team sent a single, polite cease and desist letter. The blog disappeared overnight. Update 8. A year later, my 2-year contract in Copenhagen was ending. The firm had offered me a full partnership and the chance to lead their new North American division, based out of a city of my choice. My career, once a quiet, local practice, was now a global success story. Astrid and I had decided to move back to the States together, to start a new life in a new city. I received one last, joint email from Maya and Chloe. They had lost their business and were both working low-level administrative jobs. Their email was a sad, final performance of shared victimhood. It ended with a hollow, meaningless apology. I deleted it without a reply. Final update: a few months ago, I was at a design conference in New York. Across the room, I saw the parents of Maya and Chloe, a quiet, wary-looking couple I had met a few times. Their father approached me, his expression one of profound, embarrassed regret. "Noah," he said, shaking my hand. "We wanted to apologize. We saw what they did. The blog, the lies. We always knew their bond was unhealthy. We just never knew how destructive it could be." He shook his head. "They were never two people. They were always just one, closed-off world. We're so sorry they dragged you into it." His words were the final, quiet piece of a long, painful story. The lesson I had learned was about the nature of love and partnership. A real relationship is a bridge between two sovereign, independent worlds. It is not a fortress with walls so high that no one else can get in. I had not been in a relationship with a woman. I had been auditioning for a role in a two-person play, a script I had never been allowed to read. My new life, the one I am building with Astrid, is a collaboration, a story we are writing together, one honest page at a time.